Hey guys, this is Mike. Today I'm working on a 2009 Wrangler. It's got leaking rear axle seals, so I want to kind of give you a quick view of what you got to do to get that done. You have to remove the caliper and the pad housing. You've got 4 bolts, as you can see, on your flange that stick through the backing plate. You take those loose. Now this one, hope I can get in there. That one right, where's she at? Right there. That's just like a wheel stud. It presses into that flange. As you can see, it's not very thick. So as I was trying to take that loose, that was just spinning. By the grace of God, I was able to take the retaining clip off the shoe and lift the shoe up a little bit, and I could just get in there and put a little spot weld on that stud so I could get it get it out of there. All right, you want to pull your rear cover, and if you guys are familiar with diffs, you know, typically like a C-clipper in, you can pull the C-clips and pull that pin out. This is not that way. The only thing that holds the axle in is actually that flange. So you've got just about a 1/2 inch of axle sticking through the tube, and I take a pry bar and drive it in between the pin and the axle, which kind of pushes the axle out. Now on the other side, at first, this side, me driving that in, it popped the axle out, axle seal and bearing. The other side was a bare. I actually had to drive that in to hold tension on it, and then take a slide hammer and attach it to the axle itself and pound the daylights out of it to get it out. So one come out super hard. The other side came out extremely easy. Here's the side I already removed. This is the one that come out real hard, and I wanted to show you before I put it all back together. You have your flange, and then you have your seal and your bearing. Got this little lip. Bearing's going to go on one way. The taper is going to go toward the pig, and then you've got the spacer. So when I took it apart, I personally just use a air hammer, and I'll come in here at an angle and I'll get on that. Well, first I'll drive off the spacer, then I'll get on the bearing and I'll impact that off, and then of course the seal slides right off. Now once you're putting it back together, I take some emery cloth, I clean up all the way around the axle, make sure everything's really good and clean, good and smooth. You want to make sure that while you were disassembling it, that you didn't potentially nick the axle or put a little scratch in it. If you do, you want to try to rub that out, buff it out with some type of abrasive. Also, I use a little DA grinder with a Scotch-Brite disc on it. And then when I assemble this, I put a little light coat of grease, especially on the seal itself. I'm not one to install seals completely dry. If you put a little grease on them, it'll reduce the likelihood of you damaging the seal when you install it. And then also it helps assist with pressing, because this will have to be pressed back together. It's a relatively snug fit. It also helps with pressing that bearing and spacer back onto the axle shaft. Just also, when you're removing this, I want to show you a disassembled side. This is what it looks like, and this is your ABS sensor, and it's a little bit in the way of bringing that flange out. Now you can disconnect it and take it completely out. I just take the retaining bolt loose, and I just slide it back out of the way. So that is my job for today. Thanks for watching.